Hey, what's guys? It's been a while since my last video. The last video that I posted was back at the early part of this month, and thank you for subscribing and all that kind of stuff. And this is my channel. But I actually want to talk about something that had come to my mind. Something that was weird, something that was strange, something that happened that I did not expect. So we go ahead and I want to talk about that. So, as you can see in the video, in my previous video, you can see some of the footage and zoom in on some of the stuff that was there. You can see I was playing my what I consider a dream guitar, which was a Gibson Les Paul 50s standard, faded, and honey burst. And I felt at the time, specifically, I bought the guitar in April, and it was blemished, so it was a little bit less. It was about $1,900. And some of you going like, oh no, I wouldn't pay $1,900 for nothing. I get that. I get it that no one in the right mind would pay that amount. But I did, and I got it. And it was a great guitar, but there was one thing that was, I wouldn't say a red flag, but something that didn't suit me very early on. And that was, it was bright. It was a very bright guitar. Now, in a mix, that is great. It's a great recording guitar, but not a great live guitar. And a lot of people sense it, especially if it's coming from a Les Paul. So I had that guitar. I went with it, and that was a great guitar. It was honestly great. It felt great in my hand. It was pretty light. I think it was sub 9 pounds. It was a really good light guitar. For a Les Paul, if you're going like, well, sub 9 pounds, that sounds heavy. 8 pounds sounds heavy, but I'm like, you gotta kind of weigh your options. Oh, what's going on? So, yeah, sub 9 pounds for a Les Paul is a great weight for a Les Paul. But there was a bit of an issue, and that bit of an issue is what led me to do what I'm about to say. So I go in and I'm playing this guitar. It sounds pretty good, but like I said, for me as a rhythm guitarist, there was something missing. And so that's the thing. And so when I have a guitar, that is something's missing, something's not right, in my opinion, I start looking for another guitar. That's how I always been, because I'm looking for that right thing. It's gotta tickle me the right way, to say the least. And if it's not tickling me the right way, then I am no longer invested in that guitar. I need a new one that can fill that space. So, we fast forward 2 months down the road. I'm in June. I bought the guitar in April. And we're 2 months down the road, and I see a guitar at Guitar Center that catches my eye, and it's not a Gibson. In fact, it's this one right here. Let me unplug it real quick. It's this baby. As you can see, it's an Epiphone, and it's the Inspired by Gibson Custom Shop 59 Les Paul. And I start playing this thing, and it has the thing that I like. It has the heft. And now, let me warn you, I did change the pickups out of the Gibson to from the burst buckers to the Seymour Duncan Slash pickups because I listen to Slash and there's that heft that I really like. So I switch them out and it does provide enough of more of that lower heft that I was looking for. But when I played this thing just blew that out of the water. Um, but I had to make sure, because I was playing at the thing. It sounded great. I plugged it into a 5150, turned the gain up, and just doing the heavy kind of metal riffs that I do, and then the rock riffs and stuff like that I'm known for. And even in Hope Ascending, did some of the things that are in our songs, which is somewhat distorted guitars. Um, and there was something that was there. I really was like, you know what? Let me come back tomorrow during my lunch break from my work because I was making it home because I had to sell a mower for a couple $100 that I really wanted to get rid of because I was no longer in the lawn care business. And I said, I got it during my lunch break, and I grabbed it, and I actually grabbed another guitar center employee. And he was like, "Hey, you want to help us out?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm looking at this guitar. What I'm looking for is that heft. I'm looking for that thing." He was like, "Yeah," and I said, "Could you listen and see what? Because I know what I'm listening for, but if you hear the same thing, then we're in the same boat." And so I played my good old Gibson faded Honeyburst, and it sounded good. He was like, "Yeah, that thing sounds good." And then I plugged this thing into the same amp. Didn't change any of the settings. Plugged it into the same amp. Was on the edge of breakup kind of setting on that amp. And I played it, and we both kind of were like, "Yeah, this thing's got more of that low range heft. It sounds really good." And so I was like, "Yeah, it does really sound really good." And I asked him honestly, it's like, if you were to pick between these two, I mean, this is a Gibson, this is an Epiphone, between the Gibson and Epiphone, what would you pick? And he was like, "I'd pick the Epiphone." And so, it was something that was there. And, I went home. I was just trying to give it one more chance, with my Gibson, be like, one more chance, see what we can get. And I woke up in the middle of the night with a voice in my head saying, "Go get the Epiphone." Now, you could say that could have been my schizophrenia, maybe. I don't have schizophrenia, but or God was speaking to me, and I am a believer of God, obviously, and I believe He was speaking to me saying, "Dude, go get this thing. The guitar that you have does not make you excited to play. Go get something that's going to make you excited to play, so that you can spread my word to it." So, me being who I am, I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to this one. I grabbed this guitar, traded my old Les Paul in for this one, and, had more money on the back end of it, and got, strap locks. I love this strap. This is beautiful. It's very brownish, but I like it. It's not too flashy, but it holds its weight and stuff like that. So what I'm seeing here is this. This is an Epiphone. Okay. This feels good to my hands. Honestly, I played Epiphone for years, and once I got back onto this guitar and really started playing with it, it was like welcome back, old friend. It was like an old friend that I had departed from for about a long time, and then came back, and it's like, hey, buddy, how's it going? And it's, it still feels like an Epiphone. It truly does. But there's really, it does feel good as well. It doesn't feel like the cheaper ones. So it's like a mix between the two. But to wrap all the story up is to say one thing. Don't get a guitar for the brand. I'm telling you this straight up. Don't get the guitar for the brand. Get the guitar that makes you excited. This thing, honestly, with the way that it looks, I mean, that top is beautiful. And the way that it is, and it, also being the fact that I've always wanted a 59 style guitar, 59 Les Paul, this makes me excited to play. I run my game on half, and this thing still has more to grow. And sure, the only downside I would say is the pickups are unpotted. But when you're in a Christian band, you're not going to have a whole huge amount of stage volume. And if you are, you better be in an arena, right? So, stage volume is down. There's not a whole lot of stage volume coming back and making this thing big. And so it's just what I want to play. This is what makes me excited. This guitar makes me feel excited. And not only that, but it looks like an R9 coming from Gibson. It looks like one. It's not like, the only thing, if literally I took that thing away, literally just get rid of the headstock. And now I'm not talking about the shape. The shape of the headstock, obviously correct shape. But let me just get rid of the headstock and do it from the nut all the way down on this guitar. It looks like a Gibson Les Paul. It doesn't look like, an Epiphone. The telltale signs of what an Epiphone looks like is kind of erased with this thing. We have an ABR style bridge. We have a Gibson tailpiece. We have switchcraft. We have Gibson style pickups. Actually, they're not Gibson style. They are Gibson pickups. These are the custom buckers. We have a switchcraft switch down here. The knobs look like your Gibson counterparts. So literally everything from the nut down looks exactly like a Gibson. And not only that, you're getting Gibson parts, you get CTS pots, you're getting the Bumblebee capacitors. This is what makes Les Paul Les Paul. So really what it comes down to, don't buy for the brand. Once you decide that you're going to buy for the brand, you're going to be like, yeah, that's a dream guitar, I want to go get it. But when you have so much hype for dreams, once you actually get to the point where you're at the dream, it might not live up to the hype. If it doesn't live up to the hype, then there's no point in really obsessing about a guitar. Right? Now, there is a dream guitar I want, and it is a 259 Reissue from Gibson. And the reason why I want it is because it's the older style nitrocellulose that will fade and rub through, and I love that. But the Gibson USA didn't have that. It's the newer nitro, which is great. It feels great, but it doesn't fade. It doesn't get the buckle mash. It doesn't fade here. And to me, that's kind of a selling point for me with the nitro finish guitar is I want it to look, feel, and age with me. And unfortunately, it wasn't. It was just like another one. And I've had Epiphones that have aged the exact thing all the time. So, that being said, I say this with the utmost importance. Don't buy for the brand. If you think an ESP single cut does better, get the ESP. If you think the PRS does better, get the PRS. I like the traditional shape and traditional look of a Les Paul, so that's why I go with Epiphone. But I'm going with the more, expensive ones, not the cheapo ones. The cheapo ones you can tell. This one, very hard to tell. So, that being said, that's all I gotta say for today. I know I repeated a lot of things, but when people are trying to tell you you need to buy for a brand, you don't. Don't listen to them. Buy for what makes you feel comfortable. Because if you do that, you'll be happy, you want to pick up your guitar more, and you want to go to town. If you don't want to do that, then the guitar is not serving you, and I suggest go get you a guitar that will do that. So, that's my monologue, that's my TED Talk. If you guys haven't, go please ahead and like and subscribe on this video. It really does help me out. I want to make this thing right here, the YouTube videos and stuff, I want to make this my full-time situation. And you guys supporting the videos helps me do that. But I have been Nick, y'all have been y'all, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.